Today's video is all about Ritestream. Good stories deserve to be told. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into this project, figuring out whether this project has what it takes to make it to our portfolio for the up and coming bull run. We're going to be looking at the team, the tokenomics, the overall value proposition. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. And the question is Ritestream an opportunity? Should we be looking into scaling in? Should we be building a position for the up and coming bull run? Should we be buying the dip? All right, guys, we're going to be looking at the overall project here using their website. Hopefully the website has what it takes to give us the information what we need in order to get bullish, because we want to get fundamentally bullish before we scale in heavy into this project. All right, let's scale through this. Let's kind of look and see what's going on here. Good stories deserve to be told, no doubt. If you look at the the little fine print here, you decide what movies and TV shows are worth making, not Hollywood executives. We're Emmy nominated storytellers on a mission to turn groundbreaking ideas into binge-worthy entertainment, and you're in the director's chair. Okay, interesting. So okay, there's a couple things that are going through my mind when I read that. Of course, this is not the first time that we've seen a project very similar to this idea. You know, there are other projects out there, other competitors. Let's keep on going down. I like the website so far. Nice style, really good. Fan powered. What is all this? I don't know. Entertainment. Okay, Hollywood is broken, and I think the message here is also broken. We are here to fix it. We mash up Netflix and Kickstarter. Okay, so basically, I guess giving a new shows, I guess, an opportunity, turbocharged. Okay, fuel, collective passion. Okay, now we got all kinds of jargon there, and we got lots of logos. Okay, so something to be considered here. For me, this is problematic. Okay, when you put logos out here and with no real reason, okay, maybe they are Emmy nominated. The team may have members that are Emmy nominated. Maybe they are part of the Forbes. Maybe they do have shows on BBC. Maybe they do have all these, but this has nothing to do with the project itself, and this could be deceiving. You guys know how I feel about, you know, logos being plastered on a website that don't really have value. We got to understand, yes, they may be directly associated to the individuals or part of the team, but where else does this apply as far as the project Ritestream? How does this add value to Ritestream itself? Okay, this is something that we have to understand, because this is a Web3. This should be a Web3 project, as we know. And these right now, all these links or all these you know, icons here, they're basically belong to Web 2, except Engine, which is games, you know, gamification type of thing. So I'm wondering how that applies as well. There's a couple of things that, of course, keep me a little bit on the fence here. All right, so let's just keep moving on, because I want more details, and obviously we can't click these. There's no information as to what these are all about. We can scroll back and forth, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so let's move on. Let's see. Fund. Fans buy NFT pieces of a movie. Okay. Become co-owners and get access to cast and crew. View exclusive content for purchases. Purchase rare collectibles and merchandise. It's a fan-powered filmmaking. Creators keep content. And wow, the language. Okay, that's fine. I get what it's trying to do here. Give you a bit of utility as far as what the project has to offer, and it's gearing upon NFTs. Now, is that a positive thing or is it a negative thing? I would say in today's environment, NFTs are not a strong value proposition. Many individuals are frowning upon NFTs, but of course, people like you and I understand what NFTs, it's non-fungible tokens, and this is a way to bring assets other than currencies to the forefront of Web3. So I understand what they're going with it. The challenge is the marketing of the concept of NFT currently. It's not the hottest. A lot of people are burnt, and a lot of people are not really happy about their NFT investments going underwater right now. So it's going to be a tough sell selling NFTs and that whole concept. So keep that in mind, but still I understand what they're going with. Okay, so let's move on. How does this apply? What is the actual utility other than, you know, that side utility? Engage, image, imagine seeing a movie pilot before anyone else. Okay, sure. And having a say how to get funding with Ritestream. You can vote, give feedback to the director, watch exclusive content as your movie comes to life, become a champion, not just a viewer. I guess I get it. So getting the overall the audience involved prior to the actual deployment or the creation of the video or the movie, the show, whatever it is. Okay, that's cool. No doubt. Watch, direct ordinary, ditch the ordinary, stream the extraordinary. Okay. Ritestream Plus offers exclusive crowd-funded shows, hidden gem content. Okay, fine. We get to watch, and I'm sure this is another utility, another thing that, you know, gets the token some utility. Collect more NFT stuff. Forget merchandising lines. Own a piece of NFT of your own crowdfunded shows on your marketplace. Trade collectibles and limited edition goodies. Okay, fine. Coming soon. Sure. We've seen that. This is old implementations, previous bull run kind of content anyway. So yeah, sure. Let's keep that simmering in the background. Crypto Nights. Okay, maybe this is where it's at. Imagine a global TV show where hot crypto startups pitch to legendary investors like XCO of a top 4 exchange. Okay, crypto OGs or Forbes 40 under 40. Think Shark Tank meets Web3. And of course, this is not the newest idea. This has been out. We've seen this. We've heard about this. There's competition in this space, and Crypto Nights is going to have, you know, the overshadowing negativity of that previous show that, you know, we all know of. And it's going to be hard to kind of break through that, you know, scenario because that project didn't do so well. Now, the question is this the project that is actually going to do well? Is this that project that should have been? And at the end of the day, is this going to give us what we are looking for with the distribution of media? So what comes to my mind here is this: as we get going, continue going down, we're almost done the website pretty much. Stay tuned, subscribe, get a newsletter. Okay, fine. Once I see this kind of leads me to the technicals. Okay, so I know that the team is really heavy onto the entertainment side of things. Just based on the way they sell this project, it's not about the tech. Majority of it is about the fact that the Emmy nominees and they have BBC and they're individuals. If you go straight back to their intro, they're individuals that are heavily involved in the entertainment industry, which is great. We need those professionals, no doubt. We need to have that insight as how this industry works and how we're going to propel this to the next level. I get it, but what I do know is that from a Web3 perspective, people that are, including myself, that are in Web3, we keep the tech at the forefront, or else it's just another Web2 project, similar to what we've seen in the past with similar projects within the same narrative. Okay, so what we really have to do is keep an eye on that. Now, there are some projects that are distributing media that are doing a great job decentralizing, providing the technology, creating their own chain, whether it be a parachain or whatever the case is. You know, we do have a lot of good things happening there in the space, but right now I think we need to look into this a little bit more detail. Okay, so far there weren't many clickables other than learn more, and sure, but let's stick to the top. Okay, Crypto Nights is a show. Let's pretend that it's going to be the best show out there with regards to this Shark Tank type of scenario. Okay, so that's great. Fund. I'm not sure what that is. Let's open this up in a new tab. Engage. Let's see quickly. I don't want to spend too much time here because those sections were quite self-explanatory. So that's really good. I just want to make sure that we didn't leave anything out here. Fund, Crypto Nights, RITE fund. A minimum of 500,000 RITE needs to be staked to qualify. So you got to stake. Net worth individuals, VCs. I don't like that word. As a member, you'll receive preferential allocation, discount rates. Oh God, that's not what I want to hear. So we're not talking about, you know, We're not talking about fair launch, unfortunately, here. So we're gonna have to look into tokenomics with a little bit of detail soon. Okay, so this is cool. Fund this, fund that. I get it. Okay, so straight to the point. I like that. Right app. So they got an app going. Hopefully, when is this? Is this already out there? I'm not even too sure. Coming soon. So I'm assuming it's not there yet. So the actual product is not in full effect at the current moment. Your one-stop shop for shaping the future. Okay, sure. Climb with ranks and rewards. I like this. Okay, being able to engage. I would like to see this application being something where we can engage with other viewers and so on. Maybe vote on certain things and gamify the watching experience, so that's an active watching experience, not just an immersive watching experience. So we're adding, action and as well, and interactiveness. That for me, that's pretty good. But I don't see any details just yet on how this, other than content. So behind the scene content and vote on new projects, which is pretty cool. This is what I'm talking about, that action. Okay, so let's move on. Let's take a look at watch. I'm assuming for you to be able to watch certain shows, you need to stake. You need to get involved in the ecosystem somehow. You need to be a part of it in some sort of way. So that's definitely it. Browser tabs, okay. Genres, different genres of different shows. Other benefits, free content, okay, but pay per minute. Tired of subscriptions, okay, that's interesting. Behind the scenes, funded a show. Your NFT will unlock access to other premium content. Movie night, level up your movie night, stream together with friends. Okay, that's a cool thing. And coming soon. Like, these are all coming soon. Now we have to understand this project could be so new. It is very new. The market cap is tiny. Okay, we're talking about a micro cap. Okay, so just understand that there's associated risk with such projects that are so new that don't have much a grip on the industry just yet. But there's a lot of opportunity, right? It's about risk to reward. Popcorn Collective. We'll talk about that when we take a look at the charts and price action and so on. Popcorn Collective, the DAO, the future DAO. So there's no real DAO at the current moment. If you want to be a Patreon, I don't like that word either, because there's a whole system called Patreon that is very crypto involved, and what they want to do is have their own DAO for the movie buff who wants to be rather than just a fan. So there's not a DAO as far as I can see just yet. So that again is all hopes. So far I'm getting into a very faith-based system, which you guys know I don't appreciate faith-based systems, but when you are in a scenario that the project is so new and young, what else are you going to hinge upon, right? It's all about trust. You got to trust the team that they're going to do what they say, that what they're set out to do. But to be honest, in the past, it never really works out. It rarely works out when you're going to put faith in the team. And then we have to start looking into what kind of team are we talking about, right? So we got to look into that. So just to give you, while I have these icons up here, I'll be honest, I went on the Discord, asked a couple of questions. I heard nothing. It was like 48 hours. I still think up until today, my question hasn't been answered, which is few days later, which kind of brings up a red flag. Other than the fact that they didn't respond, the question raises a red flag, and we'll talk about the red flag in a second. Make sure that you watch till the end, because it's a fairly interesting red flag that needs to be ironed out. It needs to be specified, and if it's not, it keeps me on the fence. Equally, if you go on the Telegram, it's dead. There's nothing there. X has a bit of an issue, although their traction is decent, face value, but there is some indication of potential dishonesty. And I'm going to be honest here, it's all about the metrics, it's all about the numbers. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm able to see exactly their followers and unfollowers and so on and so forth, and it does look a little dodgy. So I'll give you some of those details when we cover the social content in a second. Okay, so that's that. What else do we have? Token dashboard. I got that up and going already on another tab. We're going to look at the Binance scanner, because it is a project that's built on the BNB network, which for some of us might start to be like, okay, but why not have your own chain? Whether it be on a parachain, even, using the substrate or something like that, because other projects do the similar thing, right? They want to come up with their own chain, so they have full control over the blockchain. But there's a reason why I think this is not the case, because technically this team is not full on crypto. The majority of the team is in the entertainment industry. So let's kind of look at this. Let's keep on going. There's an error here on the news, and unfortunately, so the website is slightly broken here. About our vision. Let's see what this is all about. The white paper. I have this open too on another tab, so we can take a look at that. Let me just do it just just in case. Just in case, we'll open it up. What else do we have here? We have the team. Okay, so again, CEO and founder, Imagine TV, International Emmy Award nominee, sold shows to 50 countries. Great stuff, no doubt, right? This is great. This is what we need. And there's a LinkedIn account to verify all of it. So his strength, his core competency is in the entertainment industry. We obviously, Ritestream needs that individual. Let's move on. Then we have a serial entrepreneur. Okay, 25 years in broadcasting media. Okay, so another in film and TV industry. Okay, so we're doubling up on that skill set, which is great. Let's move on. Another person that we can trust. And then we have Joseph, the CSO, ex Microsoft, ex Box, Unilever, and Facebook. Led R&D, made Engine Starter the #1. Okay, how did they make it? He's probably part of the team somehow. But that's a gaming, blockchain, and it's a very interesting one, no doubt. But then again, is he the core developer? What's his input into the team? I'm a bit like Microsoft and Unilever. These don't really apply much from a blockchain perspective, and there's no indication to me that he's the lead developer. Now, there is an individual on the white paper that is basically the lead blockchain developer, and I'll show you guys that in a second. So I'm a bit on the fence. There's a lot of heavyweight. You can see, like, even these links, Chime TV, Canal Plus, a European, Prime Video. I'm like, honestly, it looks a bit deceiving. How is Prime Video a partner? How is this working out here? Like, I really doubt Prime Video is going to be teaming up with a $5 million market cap crypto project out of all people, right? Of all projects. Now, it could be, and I'm not saying it can't. I'm not saying it's not possible. But like, guys, we got to really, really take it with a grain of salt. They need to come up with some sort of documentation proving that this relationship does exist. Now, in which form or fashion or what is the case, but it's not a faith-based system for me. I am not getting in based on faith. I'm not believing these icons or these logos based on faith. So for me, Engine Starter, I don't know how that applies. Advisors, investors, we need links. We need something to tell us exactly how you're getting involved in the gaming field. If it's gamification of some sort that we need to know about. So that's that. Honestly, right here, this is not a good look. And okay, 50, the team could be a little bit more geared towards blockchain, Web3 technology with a bit of history and a little bit of a resume for that matter. Okay, so again, take it as you will. Popcorn Collective, join the passionate community of entertainment enthusiasts and crypto pioneers. The DAO. Okay, where's this DAO at? Where's the information regarding the DAO other than, this? This is not enough. We need some more technicals behind the DAO, and I don't believe when the DAO, that the DAO exists. What is a DAO and how does it work? Where is it? How do we know that this autonomous organization is active? I don't think it's there, and it's not on the roadmap as far as I remember. We'll take a look at the roadmap in a second. Is there a community for Ritestream? Okay, there's a thriving community that I don't see thriving at all, unfortunately. We could argue that it is thriving on X, but it's not on the Discord and it's not on the Telegram, and even on X, like I said, there's a little bit of an issue there that I definitely want to iron out there because there's a lot of numbers that look a little bit manipulative. What is Crypto Nights? The show, we get it. What is Ritestream? We get it. It's a decentralized distribution of media. And in this case, when we talk about decentralized distribution of media, we have to talk about infrastructure. And this is something that kind of like is not really talked about. Okay, so we have to understand if we're going to be decentralizing the media, which are, at the end of the day is data, it's information, how is it decentralized? Who owns the servers? Who owns the hard drives? Who owns all of this distribution? And if it's them, if it's the actual team itself, the Ritestream team that is hosting all of this on their own dedicated servers, on their own hard drive spaces, let's put it that way, keep it simple, it's not decentralized. In fact, it's centralized with a token on top. right? That's all it is. You're tokenizing a centralized organization or a centralized organizational structure with regards to the tech. And that is the red flag that kind of bothers me currently, because without decentralizing the media using a decentralized file storage protocol, there is no decentralization of the data. You upload your information, they're in control of your information. You upload your video, they're in control of your video. You upload the show, you upload the TV show, the movie, whatever it is that you upload as a creator or even as a viewer, that data, that information is not decentralized unless they can clearly state how it is. And as of now, there is none. And if the team was well versed into the blockchain technology, they would have realized that currently that is the hottest and most important trend right now in DePIN. For DePIN, right? They need to have some sort of DePIN infrastructure in the background here. Okay, so for me, this is a red flag. If they want to upgrade its perception in the Web3 space, this is something that needs to be addressed front, right, and center. Okay, so let's move forward. This is the white paper, nicely graphically represented as expected. Okay, lots of stuff happening here, which is nice. Okay, really cool. I like the overall graphics, but as of now, we're on the 5th page and there's not much information. Okay, this is all really sensationalism. Okay, Emmy nominated team, that doesn't matter. It's great, but this is Web3. We want Emmy nominated blockchain developers. That's what we need here to really be confident in that this is a Web3 project with a clear value proposition in the Web3 space. So although this is a talented team from that regard, we want the crypto talent, we want the blockchain talent, we want the developer talent to come front, right, and center, and there is none right now. Creators face, fans face, okay, fine, a lot of sensationalism, rewriting the script for fans, for creators. We get this, getting the community all involved, that is, through being a holder of the token and so on and so forth. This is great, no doubt. This is cool. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying that this is actually something that could add some value. And then you have the app that, of course, needs to be needs to exist. And I'm wondering if it's already ready for download. The Popcorn Collective Act 3, creating fresh fans. Okay, this is good. This is where they kind of start earning $20 a month, $200 a year. Vote this, that. You get maybe this is the gamification of watching video. Maybe this is how they gamify the interactiveness of being a content consumer rather than just a viewer. You can actually interact, and this is probably where it's at. Okay, so look, it looks good. Invest in movies and gain a revenue share. Stream with friends for the ultimate movie night. 20% off merchandise and digital collectibles. Okay, I watched a AMA with one of the team members. I think it's a senior team member, and the focus of the entire AMA was on merchandise. And I feel like that was a little bit disconnected from the reality of what this project is about. Nobody cares about merchandise at this current moment when the Web3 project itself is valued at $1 million market cap, right? There needs to be a little bit of value and a little bit of focus onto the Web3 project itself, not on merchandising and a near frequency transmission on merchandising. I watched the latest AMA, and honestly, I wasn't impressed because it totally deviated from, I thought it was a totally different crypto. I had to go back on the AMA and read the description of what was happening in that post on X to confirm that I was watching a Ritestream video. It almost like had nothing to do with Ritestream. So I feel like there's a bit of disconnect there with regards to the merchandising and all these marketing efforts rather than focusing on the tech, the Web3 tech. And again, as a Web3 enthusiast myself, that I've been around this space for a long time, I need to make sure that's up front and center, not the tangible, not the merchandise, not the Web2 space. It needs to be completely Web3. I know I sound like a broken record, guys, but I need to make sure that this message comes through. How it works, platform, pilot. Okay, so getting people involved through a movie fund. We can pass, match, or double down on the pilot. Seed crowdfunding and investment fans. Okay, lots of stuff there. Crowdfunding, right to vote. Again, the DAO, streaming deals. Lots happening here, guys. It's almost confusing. There's so much happening here. So much. Crypto meets Shark Tank. Again, is this a good look? Is this something that maybe they should have come up with something more a little bit unique, because this has already been done, and I I feel like a lot of individuals, were left, with a bit of a sour taste, given the fact that the last show that came out with this, idea was a bit of a flop. It didn't do so well, and we need another one. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm just trying to be critical, to be honest here. That's all it is. There always has to be two sides of the coin, no pun intended. But literally, at this point, we're talking about the token. What is this? The fuel. Of course, this is what it is. This is what bothers me. Okay, private sale, they got discounts, and we're going to look at this in a bit more detail. The seed round, the private sale, the public, these guys got discounts at Genesis already, right? And the vesting period is all around the corner, where we're going to start seeing even the team get their tokens unlocked off the cliff, which bothers me as well, guys. This is a little bit of a not the most cleanest way of showing the information. There's a lot of graphics intertwined in here. It's almost distracting. So maybe a typical white paper what might be a little bit better, but the vesting schedule is right here if you're interested, if you can actually make do of this. February, I think it was released in January, but we see February, March, April, May. I think there's a 6-month cliff, which we're due right now to see the team unlock a ton of their tokens, which means that there's going to be a little bit of tokens hitting the market in the next little while. So be careful there for the dilution of the price. And I'm wondering if we'll find, this is the roadmap. Here we are, a little bit of a roadmap. And if you read this, a lot of it has to do with the show and the entertainment side of things. Right? Ecosystem, again, even though this is ecosystem, the first movie, this is not an ecosystem. This is what they're doing for themselves as far as their value proposition. This is an expectation. An ecosystem is slightly out of the expectation of their core competency. That's how you build an ecosystem, right? So I don't really classify these as an ecosystem currently. It's part of what their team is trying to offer here with the Ritestream project itself, not the ecosystem. We need to deviate, get out of the spread your wings, maybe team up with another project, or bring in another type of show. Maybe then we're growing ecosystem here. But Crypto Nights, okay, again, a lot of that, the foundation. Like, honestly, guys, no tech talk whatsoever here in the roadmap, which kind of bothers me. Engaging, watching, collecting, all of this stuff is just about the show, and that's all about it, and about the entertainment side of things, which kind of bothers me. Now, this is the team. We kind of went through this already. Former Binance NFT social media communication host of AMA. Okay, so more entertainment individuals, but at least we got some former Binance NFT social media, but still part of the marketing, part of the entertainment industry, major industry pioneer with Nokia, Microsoft, Xbox, Facebook, grab engine starter, rise atop launchpad. Okay, fine, that's great. That's as closest as we get to industry professional, I guess, at this current moment, which is okay, not bad, and that's it. Finished. Now, at the end of the day, it's not bad, and it's not really a formal white paper. They call it a RITE paper, but if we can kind of move on, we can see if there's any more information here. This would be more of a traditional white paper, but there's a disclaimer here, guys. Nothing in this white paper should be treated or read as a guarantee or promise of new Ritestream business, or the tokens will develop, or of the utility or value of the token, or and again, they're just kind of backing themselves up, that basically saying that any of this that you read here is not carved in stone. So we have to take it at that. It's up for grabs. It could change, and it may not be something that you can rely on. And again, faith-based systems. Okay, so if you look at what's going on here, secure peer-to-peer transactions, proof of authenticity, immutable digital record. We know what that means. If you're in crypto and Web3, that's the value proposition of all projects built on crypto, not just Ritestream. So what's unique? What's the unique value propositions here? Enables micro licensing, which is cool, based on the licensing and agreements behind digital media. Creates global crowdfunding mechanisms. Okay, that's all good. And if you keep on going, there's lots of good stuff here. Lots of utility, tons of utility, to the point that it almost gets confusing. Like, like there's a little bit too much happening. I would have liked them to kind of roll out bit by bit, like get something going, and then make the utility clear and strong, and then add another utility and make that clear and strong, and then add another utility and make that clear and strong. And that way, over time, the users of the of the project can get comfortable as they go. But right now we got NFTs, we got this, and being part of the team, and being part of the new shows, and getting access to this, and getting it just feels a little bit how can I say, overwhelming in my opinion. So there's a lot happening. It could be a good thing, solving the licensing dilemma. That in itself could be that's it. This could be the major value proposition. Scrap the rest and add those on bit by bit. That's the problem. It looks like they're trying to bite off way too much all at once. Content without borders. Okay. Oh, the app. Oh, good. The Ritestream flywheel. This is kind of giving you the idea. Again, each scene is an NFT, and then you buy the NFT, and it's just a lot of content consumption. So you can actually own a fraction or a fractal of the video, and that's a common trend in the real world asset narrative. But this is not a real world asset necessarily. So you get what I'm going at here. So there's a little bit. Yeah, Minter NFTs on the platform, cast and crew, viewers, we talked about this, a lot of repetition, but that's fine. This is a second wave almost of white paper. Creators, I want to see where the important stuff. So utility of the token, a lot of the utility. We've talked about this. Pay to watch, buying fractional ownership, what I just mentioned, tokens to incentivize high caliber NFT projects. Okay, we talked about this. View to earn, pay to watch, royalties on fractional NFT ownership, streaming partners and rewards. So a lot happening here. Streaming, you get it. Keep on going. Customer referral program. These tokens are going to be able to be used for all of this, which is a lot. Okay, there's a lot happening here. Steaming partner staking. Partners who stake more than, look at this, 100,000 US equivalent in RITE tokens will receive exclusivity to content with first window. Like honestly, it's just like a lot. That's a lot. From a you're talking about $5 million market cap project, they're already looking for $100,000 just to get this particular perk. I don't know. That seems a little bit far-fetched to me. And then you start looking at the tokenomics. Now, this is where I think this is a lot clearer than that other white paper as far as what's going on with the tokenomics, the seed round, the private sale, and the public sale. This is where the magic happens. Okay, guys. So can we make this bigger? Yes, we can. Not bad. Linear daily vesting. So you can see that, the private sale, all these dudes, all these people that got in at this level, they got in at a bit of a discount. And there is a bit of a discount. Where is that information? Cliff team. Okay, this is good. 2.5. Right. 5%, 22.5% over month unlocked. So you can see that the discount, they got the tokens at 0.02. Private sale 0.03 and public sale 0.04 per token. So they're getting them as a discount. Now the seed round and the private sale don't represent a huge portion, but as soon as you start bringing in the public at the discount at that stage, we're talking about 11% of the total supply, which starts to get significant. Seed round is closed. We still have the private sale. It's closed. This needs to be updated. We have public sale, which is closed. Initial market cap, TGE, so fully diluted market cap at TGE, so which means Genesis $40 million, guys. And it's a bit problematic for me. Schedule may be based on actual market conditions. Okay, so what we have to understand is this. I think this is way more important, because if you start looking at the private sale, the seed round, and the public sale that all got discounts, it does represent about 11% or so. 5%, 4.5 plus 1.5. Then you look at the team that has 15%. Then you start looking at the treasury, which a treasury is usually governed by a DAO, and I don't see any indication about technicalities behind the governance of the DAO, the decentralized autonomous organization. All I see is mentions and maybe a promise, but at the current moment, there's no indication. Okay, so for me, that kind of bothers me. I would like to see this project on its own blockchain so that we can, have a little bit more control over how this organization is run, and the DAO to vote on the way the treasury funds are going to be spent is ideal. Now, who are we trusting here to spend this 20% at the current moment? We have to be trusting the team, and for me, that doesn't work well. It's not a faith-based system here, guys. We're in Web3. View to earn and marketing, who controls this? That's usually governed by a DAO as well, and that's 40%. Who's a part of that? How are we going to ensure that this 40% now is being deployed accordingly? 6% to the advisors, fine. So that advisors, teams, private sales, seed sale. All these individuals are part of a very risky group of individuals, because these individuals are not necessarily individuals that are here for the long run. They are here because they got in at a good price, and it's very likely that they may start dumping on the market once they're in some real good profits. It's almost like venture capitalists. A lot of venture capitalists don't care about the tech. They're in it because they want to make a quick flip and then dump on the market. So we have to understand that although the advisors could be really good, the advisors get 6% of these tokens that may not necessarily have a true fundamental reason to be holding for long term. Partnerships and early supporters. Again, early supporters coupling that with partnerships is not a good look either. Why are we paying partners? Partners should have a strategic partnership should be one where they both have enough stake in the game where basically it should break even. Why are we paying for partnerships? That's not a partnership. When you're paying for your partners, it's like paying for your friends. That's not how it works, right? So early supporters, again, individuals that got early, you're giving them an incentive. You're giving them early prices, early allocation. This is not a fair launch, as can be seen. So the liquidity is also held for exchange listings, and it's only 5%. That's, is that going to be enough? And then again, back to the 15% for the team. And we have to understand that the unlock for the team is around the corner. If not right now, it's within this month. We should see 15% of getting unlocked. Now, one thing that bothers me is that there's no indication of a linear release, which means that how are they going to be released all at once? But the schematic above does show us that it is linear, but there's no wording, just the schematic. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Now, this right here, use of funds. Okay, we believe that, sure, faith-based system here. This is how it's going to be used. I think this should be up to a DAO vote, but again, we don't know how that's going to be done and implemented. So really early here. Now, what I was saying about the team, if we go down here and you can kind of see 6-month cliff for the team, 1 week cliff for after that, after the 6 month, which we're kind of hitting as we speak, we're very close. It came out in January, so February, March, April, May, you get what I mean. We're already unlocked and going at it. What does this mean? Like, there's a lot of tokens. If you kind of look at, can we make this bigger? Yes, we can. If you look at the blue, it gets thick real quick, right? We're starting to get there. We're going to start unlocking for the team, and then it starts to get thicker and thicker over time. And it's not in good timing with regards to the bull run. Now, I know the bull run is here. We're potentially going to get to a really frothy zone where the price action starts running, and it's likely the team won't be selling at that scenario, but you bet they will sell at the top. Okay, everybody will sell at the top. Okay, no matter who you are. Early stakeholders, whether they're team members, advisors, anybody that seed sale, private sales, publics, anybody that got a discount and got early. And this thing, it does very well in a bull run, because a lot of projects, regardless of what they are, they do well. They will take profit based on this schedule. They know that a lot of people got tokens and that there's going to be a lot of liquidity to be sold onto the market. So again, it could be good. We have a clear vesting schedule based on this graph, but when you start reading the vocabulary, you got a 6-month cliff with no linear, with no suggestion of a release, a linear release or anything like that. So I'm assuming that we can trust this. It looks okay. We're slowly, gradually releasing tokens throughout the market, but don't expect this not to dump in the bear market. It will dump hard because, again, it's new and there's a lot of tokens entering circulation that got in really early. So look at the overall vesting schedule. A 4-month cliff for the partners and early supporters, 5-month cliff for advisors. These are all coming up. These are all like right around the corner, if not already done, and they're picking up pace as far as the unlocks go. Okay, so just keep that in mind. TG is Genesis, and I think that was January 10th. I tried to ask on the Discord and nobody was giving me a straight answer. I asked many questions on the Discord and a couple, and nothing was really answered. So that's that. I got the suggestion that it was January 10th based on the Binance scanner, which shows all the transactions. Okay, so let's move on there. Roadmap, okay, which is, we talked about a little bit. If you look at this in a little bit more detail, a lot of this has to do with the NFTs, and again, more NFTs, and a lot has to do with the entertainment industry. This QR code, guys, I don't know, totally disjointed. I'm not really crazy about all of this. Why are we talking about physical QR codes I don't understand what this has to do with anything. And I watched the AMA and I felt like it was totally disjointed. Again, that's just my advice advice. Obviously, guys, do your own thing. But when I read a roadmap that doesn't have a clear vision, it kind of like keeps me, at bay. Now, this is an extended version of the team, I guess. We saw these two dudes already, which were great. This is the blockchain developer. I guess this is where we can where we have to put a bit of our faith. We have no real doxed information. I couldn't find any information on Lucas. If you do have any information, feel free to share in the comment section below, or a link of any sort. I would definitely be pleased to see some information. But we have a studio partnership, TV branding program. We have another one position. I don't know what this business week for Euro Money, founder of marketing, marketing co-creator of fashion TV. So a lot of TV executives and all this kind of stuff. We need this. A little bit of this with some strength behind it, and with some experience. And I'm not saying that this dude doesn't have experience, but it would be nice to know if he did, right? So that's that. And we need an all-star team with some all-star blockchain developers. Now, if you look at the advisors, what do we got here? Michael, co-founder, Stashaway, founder, a fund. I don't know. These are VCs, venture partners. Oh, wow. Shisha Finance, more VCs, maybe. More VCs. Again, more VC. I don't know. Launch Podium, tribal manager, director, founder. I don't know. Okay, guys, like, really, I think that the team is lacking some expertise in the crypto space, the Web3 space, and if they do, they're doing a poor job showing us who are those champions that are supposed to be leading this project into Web3 out of Web2. Okay, so that's a key thing here. Now let's look at some of the metrics on chain. This is where I got the fact that Genesis was potentially in January 10th, because that's where we started off at 0. So I'm assuming that's the case. I would have loved the team to put Genesis, and trust me, Ritestream's not the only one. The white paper should show, should show when the project was launched, the Genesis date. Okay, and that way you can look at the vesting schedule a little bit differently. You know exactly which month we're in. But at the current moment, it's all about looking at the blockchain, which in a way should be valid. Now, if we start looking at Binance Scan, BSC Scan, we look at the overall distribution of the wallets. We have a few fat wallets over here. We got this one, and that one. And then you look at them, the majority of them are coming out from contract addresses, which means that they're locked up in some sort of contract, which, again, if you want to know more, you got to look into the smart contract. You got to read the smart contract. You got to, make sure it's valid. I don't see any Certec certification on these contracts on the website. I didn't see anything. I would like to go back and kind of see. Usually they're down here, where we see a lot of that Certec certification. None whatsoever. Was it audited? Were the contracts audited? I don't know. I don't see it. If there's no info, it most likely it's not, unfortunately. So if there is, they should put it on here and get this website going. So we have 17, 16, 8, 6, 5%, 3% on MEXC. All these contract-based tokens are basically the majority of the tokens. But we understand it's a new project. Circulating supply is very minimal. So we're waiting for a lot of these tokens to enter circulation, and they're going to be coming out of the contract within the vesting periods, right? So something to consider. All right, guys, so not bad. Like, as far as tokenomics go, there's a bit of insecurity here, given the fact that it's new. We have to understand the tokenomics on new projects usually are not the greatest, but the fact is that it needs to have a DAO. It needs to have. It would have been nice to be fair launched. It would be nice to have a lot of little other features that modern new projects of this wave of Web3 should have. Okay, just keep that in mind. All right, guys. You guys know that I do release a infographic for you guys every week regarding the project. Ritestream. Let's look in some of the detail here that I got here. Ecosystem, guys, the ecosystem in my book, there is none. Now, I think what they're trying to do is pass off their internal native ecosystem as an ecosystem, meaning the project itself that they're building as an ecosystem. That's not really an ecosystem. That's what the project is. And in itself, what you build within your project is not an ecosystem. An ecosystem needs to expand from your core competency. So where else are you bringing in other projects, other developers to build on top, or something like that, or any partnerships that are coming in from other projects to build alongside, or something like that? That would give you an ecosystem. Right now, a zero ecosystem, and for that matter, a lot of the the project itself is not even completely solid at this current moment. So to expect an ecosystem in itself is a little bit far-fetched in my opinion. The utility is maxed out. Like, there's a lot happening there, to the point that I would love to give it 10 out of 10, but it reaches a borderline of confusion. There's a lot too much happening at the forefront at the beginning. I think that what would have been better is to roll out a lot of this utility bit by bit and have a clear outline of that on a roadmap, and say, okay, first we're starting off with this to create a royalty scenario so that we can basically reward creators, get creators going on there, and if you own tokens based on that creator, whatever the case is, you will get royalties, or you will get rewards for owning those tokens, or whatever the case is. So I think bit by bit, and then pay to watch, and then NFT creations and all these other things could be added later, particularly the NFT side of things. I think NFTs right now, that word, that acronym right now is not the greatest, hottest acronym. However, it is still a very strong utility for that token and for the overall project. So 9 out of 10 right there. The roadmap has a bit of work. I even, now that I think about it, I may have overshot this one to 7. It should be maybe even less, because really the primary focus of the entire project is all about entertainment. It's not about the crypto or the Web3. So the roadmap needs to step back and really be clear about what's going on there with the tech. The fact that it's written on Binance Smart Chain means that the majority of the work is done, right? Because all they did was create a token on an existing blockchain. So what else are you going to do here? Like, you have to be able to make this a real Web3 project by providing some real good, tech utility, not just utility of the token, but what is it? Like, what other than entertainment, what are you doing there? Like, the DAO would be a perfect thing for the roadmap. A little bit of the DAO concept would be great. But again, that's my take for that. The team, although it is very strong, it's very strong in the entertainment field, it lacks presence in the Web3 space. Although there is a name there that is a blockchain developer, and I'm not trying to badmouth him because he could be the greatest. However, if there's no information and there's no clarity, and in fact, he's only present on one aspect of the white paper. In fact, I believe that he should be second runner-up to the creator of the project. The creator could be part of the entertainment industry, but the second in line should be an all-star in the blockchain technology, so we can put a little bit of that faith that they want us to have into someone that knows the industry in and out and knows the tech side of things in Web3. So at the current moment, guys, the team, in my opinion, it needs a little bit of work. They need to get some champion in there that's really going to convince the market that they can handle a Web3 project on their own and not just a Binance Smart Chain token. Okay, so that's something to consider. Socials, followers, this is something that I liked at first glance. I looked at the metrics. I use third-party software, multiple third-party software to judge and to gain some data into how they're interacting on X. Yeah, they got 51k followers, which already kind of like, considering the size of the project, got me a little bit critical here. They got 2.5k followers for the last 30 days, which is up 60%, and 99 posts for the last 30 days, up 80%. Those are great metrics, guys. So overall, they're growing in a time where everything is falling. Okay, we've seen the crypto space fall significantly in the last little while with regards to engagement. Remember, I do deep dives every week, and I look into a lot of details. Every single deep dive in the last month, metrics with regards to socials have been coming down, even with all the efforts possible. And these guys are cranking it. Now, is this a sign of strength, or is this a sign of potential manipulation? And I'll show you some of the metrics that I found that kind of bother me. The metric is ultimately, is there a little bit of manipulation? Okay, tokenomics, 5%. I'm going to give 5 out of 10 there. The vesting schedule, not fair launch. The vesting schedule is there, but again, the unlocks are coming, guys. So be prepared that you're going to see the team getting unlocked, the cliff approaching with no indication of linear vesting for the team, which kind of, I want that clarity. And with that disclaimer, we can't take for what they say for truth. So we got to be very critical. And for me, a white paper needs to be truth. You can't have a disclaimer that says, you know what, not what I say here on the white paper can be changed, and it can be, it's just you know, like, it's not just a guide, it has to be fact, right? So it's either they are way too early and they're not very clear about what they're getting into, or maybe the white paper shouldn't be called a white paper. Maybe it's not a white paper, I don't know what it is, a light paper, something else. But at the end of the day, it would be even worse, because the white paper should tell us exactly what's happening. Partnerships, no proof of any relationship with any of the companies mentioned on the website. It does not look genuine. They have Amazon Prime there, guys, one of the biggest distributors of media in the world, and they're saying that there are partners or partnerships with Amazon Prime. Put your money where your mouth is, you know, show me the proof. I don't see any of that happening. Trust me, this thing would have been exploding a long time ago if that was the case, right? And they have a lot of logos on there, which kind of bother me. It's deceiving for newcomers that are coming to the space to see all these logos that really don't add too much value to the Web3 project itself. As a Web2 bonus, great. All the, you know, what was it, BBC, all that other stuff, all great stuff. But reality is, as far as a Web3, you got to be honest, guys. You know, it's not a good look. Exchanges, this could be a positive, this could be a negative. The only main level of liquidity you have is MEXC, and we know that MEXC hosts a lot of projects, right? A lot of micro caps, a lot of different projects. The reality is, you got Bitmart and Uniswap, PancakeSwap and Gate, and MEXC is the only large one. So there's a lot of possibilities that we get listed on larger exchanges, which means that we could get some nice pops based of that type of volume being listed on major exchanges. Right now, it's an opportunity for that to happen, or it is a negative because there's a very low liquidity out there. And if you buy a bit of a bag on Bitmart, good luck trying to sell it, because there's not enough liquidity on those small exchanges. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's something that you got to be concerned with, especially leading into the top of the bull run, where on paper we'll all be millionaires, but you won't be realizing those profits if you can't sell them. You need to be able to find places of liquidity to be able to sell those tokens, and I don't really trust Bitmart. And although Uniswap and PancakeSwaps are a DEX, good luck trying to sell it at the price, at the suggested price of the current valuation. Sometimes you got to take a 50% loss just trying to sell it because there's no liquidity. So just think about it like that. Okay, so that's that. What else do we have here? We'll talk about this, the overall market cap. So this was as of a couple of days ago, or yesterday for that matter. And we see the price, okay, it's hovering around that same level. Market cap is a $5 million market cap, $5.4 million market cap. Trading volume is very low, guys. There's not a lot of volume, obviously, directly related to the exchanges. There's not many exchanges. Don't expect a lot of volume. Supply 61 million, 12.3% of the circulating supplies in circulation. That's all it is. It's only 12%. The rest of it is going to be coming out through the vesting schedule. So just understand those token unlocks in the next little while are going to start picking up, and the max supply is 1 billion tokens, which is a lot, but that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Right now, it's at a $29.9 million evaluation, in my opinion. Obviously, guys, not financial advice. I'm not trying to say, I think that's overvalued. I think it's so overvalued at the current moment that I don't see it being worth a $30 million project at this current moment, in my opinion. All right, so that's that. Let's take a look at some of the other information I got here as far as my verdict, okay? And the red flag, we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. So it's part of the decentralized media distribution narrative and NFT narrative. 11% of the tokens are or were distributed in at a discount. So we got to understand that those people have a great incentive to sell on the market upon token unlocks. 7% partners and early supporters, should they be paid? This is something that kind of leads me to believe that the partners need to be paid, and this is the second project that I cover that has this scenario. Kind of bothers me. 20%, 21% of the tokens are given to the team and advisors. So team and advisors are the same type of people. There's people that are getting in based on an investment. They're there because they're there for the project to do well, and the likelihood is that, you know, they may not sell, but if they do, let's put it this way, they own 21% together, and advisors and the team are one, and they're not exclusive in a lot of the times, right? They're there for the business to grow. They're early stakeholders, they're stakeholders of the organization, and they own 21%. Whether they're advisors or team members, it doesn't really matter. I still look at this as liquidity that is at risk here, you know, to be unlocked and potentially hit the market. Basically 39% of the tokens will flow through early stakeholders. If you add all this up, you're going to start start to look at, look, these individuals are individuals that are not part of the general public. They're not part of the public that thinks that this project has great fundamentals and is buying based on an investment. These are individuals that are holding tokens based on their own interest on the business that they are growing. So it's a bit of a conflict of interest here in a way. Okay, so consider that 39% hold by early stakeholders. Clear roadmap, of course, with dates, which is great, something that I look forward to when I do these deep dives, but no focus on the tech. And no focus on the tech, neither no mention of the DAO. There is a mention of voting. There's mention of the DAO here and there as far as the idea, but no real implementation here on how we can get involved in becoming a DAO member just so we can actually vote. It's still too early. Nothing written on the roadmap, guys. And if you look at what's going on with a lot of the marketing budget and the budget that should be put into the DAO, the reality is who's actually governing it? It's most likely the team at the current moment. So that's very centralized. And then speaking of centralized, actually, you know what? Let's keep that this red flag for a second here. Let's keep it on hold. Let's talk about X. Look, X was looking good at face value, but as soon as I looked into the metrics, it looked a little bit suspicious. Why? Because hundreds of followers and unfollowers on a single day. Very volatile. Like, I'm talking about hundreds being lost and gained day by day. So what is really happening here? It doesn't look like a very organic way of seeing, the way their follower count is running. Trust me, guys, I'm in social media myself. I get it. And that is a very unusual type of scenario where you're seeing chunky losses and gains as far as followers go. Okay, and if I took a random sample of all the followers that they do have, and many of them are bots, I'm saying above 60% of them are bots. Okay, so that means that, and you can look at their the different names, their profiles, and a lot of them are bots. So it kind of bothers me to see that, is it genuine? And then if you go on the Discord is dead, guys. You hear crickets when you go in there, and the Telegram is locked, so you can't even converse, you can't even get engaged with the community. So if X was so pumping, why don't we have action on the Discord? I just feel like there's a bit of disconnect, a bit of I don't really trust it, to be honest, for that matter. Now let's talk about a big red flag. Of course, the decentralization, and it goes back to the tech. The fact that they're not focusing on the tech leads me straight to here, and which means the decentralization of the storage, right? If they're a media company and they are expecting creators to deploy or to upload their videos so they can distribute it for them, who owns the actual data in this case? How are these servers being run? Are they decentralized? Are they governed by the DAO? Are they using IPFS? Are they using Filecoin? Are they using Arweave? What are they using as a strategic partner to get these videos decentralized, not having to rely on them to host these videos? Guys, that's a major red flag in this current environment of decentralization. Okay, because then this could be considered a security. Okay, so we got to really understand is that if this team is taking on that, on that task of managing the software side of things, and not only the app and all of that, but the data that they collect from creators, that is a bit of a problem, guys. A big problem. Okay, so keep that in mind. I think the team needs to address this. I know the team is young. I know this is a new project, and it could definitely have some good value in the future. But at the current state, I think this project is very risky. Now, if we keep on going down, it's about risk, right? We know that we're talking about small market caps. We're talking about projects that may do well, maybe not even in this bull cycle, maybe in the next. But when we're talking about other projects, it could be comparative to Hello. Now, Hello, if you follow what that is, it's another decentralized media distribution. They have shows and so on. Another crypto-based show, very similar to this, the one that they got here going on here on Ritestream. And in fact, it was a bit of a flop. It's not really the greatest. It's not getting the traction. And Ritestream, could be saying, you know, we're going to actually do this time, we're going to do it right because we have the experience. Now, I've seen this argument before. I've seen this before, and it doesn't work out because the teams do not focus on what Web3 is about. They're focused on their experience of the past and the industries that they excel at, which is great, but they need to put themselves aside and get a champion in Web3. And now, again, I don't know if they do because there's nothing there clearly saying that there's somebody that knows exactly what they should be creating here for the Web3 space. And unfortunately, you know, talking about garments and near frequency transmissions and barcodes and all that kind of stuff has nothing to do with Web3. And in fact, I would even be stepping away from NFTs in this case, because NFTs at the end of the day are not where the interest is at the current moment. So focus. And at this current scenario, I say, look, if we do well, if it does well, it could catch up to Hello. It's one of the leading industry, you know, projects in the industry. If you even want to call it a leading, you know, project. The overall narrative is very small. There's not much happening in this narrative, so it could be one of the major ones that are going to take it and start this narrative and make it a big one. It could be, but at this current state, I don't feel confident about it. It's about risk and it's about reward. The risk is high and the reward could be super high, but then it's all about your position size, guys. I talk about position size significantly here on the channel, talking about how much are you going to be putting in, guys. If it's risky, put in a little bit, because if it does well, a little bit will go a long way, but if it does poorly, you don't lose too much. I think a target of 10 cents is very viable. If it catches up to Hello, sure. If it beats Hello, great. But at this point, I'm not willing to allocate a ton of capital. I'll give this thing a 3 out of 10. Unfortunately, it didn't meet my expectations for a sound investment, but nonetheless, it seems interesting, right? So position size. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's take a look at, I know you want to talk about charts as well. Let's take a look at the price action. Let's see what's going on with this price. At the end of the day, the price is hovering at a very good level of horizontal support because of the 200 daily, and that's it. We got previous lows, great. We got a previous high and the 200 daily. That is a great level of potential support. After all this volume, look at all this volume down here, we got a nice run to the upside. But the question is, do we fall through the volume gap? And on the channel, we talk about volume gaps every single day, guys, and we see them do fall through the volume gap. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, volume gaps are important. Why? Because they pose a lot of weakness into the chart, right? Although we do see a massive amount of volume into here, okay, a lot of it, and we're talking about June, August, a lot of volume in here, okay? So April, May, June, yeah, so this is a lot of tons of volume, and I'm curious about the actual timing here, but nonetheless, a lot of volume coming in, and then we're getting a huge pop to the upside, huge one. Now, if we do get support on this 200 daily, great. We have something to really talk about here, in the sense that we could be getting a nice bull flag. So let's put a horizontal. Let's make this clear. Horizontal is right around here. Done. Very nice. Suggesting that we could get that support. Now let's see about the worst case scenario. Let's say that we do break down. The next level that I'm worried about is literally down here, all the way down here, which is at 0.0084, something like that. If we fall through this zone, and it's very justified because we don't have volume into here. Let's look at this in a little bit detail. Let's zoom in. You can see the volume profile is not showing me any volume into the zone, which means that we could literally free fall. If we break below this low, free fall right down to this level, which, you know what, guys, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. Okay, so that's that. There's not much other than that. We got a bit of volume down here, as you can see, that could act as support all the way in the accumulation zone, all the way at this level from 2023, 23 October, April, yeah, all the way down here. This has been this price action is kind of weird, to be honest. I thought Genesis was in January, but who knows with January. At the end of the day, I try to ask, I try to figure out when Genesis was. So this is kind of like, you know, this is what I think. Ultimately, it's, if you guys can figure it out, great. But at this rate, this is the only price action I can trust at this moment, is that there's a lot of volume and there's a lot of people in profit based on this volume. Okay, so if we do come down, we're going to be hunting liquidity at this level. So let me put a red box into here so we can identify the vulnerability that, you know, very clearly if we kind of break below. Now, there's obviously opportunity, right? The opportunity is that we hold that horizontal support, get that bounce, and call this a bull flag, right? right here, bounce right off of here. Let's make this green so we can understand that this is a good buy opportunity, because you can invalidate your bullish thesis very, very easy. Let me duplicate this and put another arrow down here, because look, if we fall through that volume gap, that's another opportunity. Now, this volume gap is pretty massive. If we take a quick measurement, we're talking about a 70% dip. Are you willing to get into a bag here and expect it to come down 70% and get an underwater 70%? Guys, not me. I'm not interested in that. So there's two ways to look at it. Either from a bearish perspective, that's what we're talking about here, because look at this volume into here. No real market participation interested in this price action at the current moment. No volume whatsoever. So I'm kind of, you know, on the fence here. If we get in right here, you got to put a stop loss underneath, because if we do break below the previous low, guys, we're making a lower low after a lower high. Okay, lower high, lower low. The trend is your friend. We're coming down hard. People are going to be selling off. All these people, everybody got that token, got all those token unlocks from Genesis. People that got those discounts at Genesis are all going to be protecting their gains. They're not there to be holding and getting into a loss. So they're going to be dumping this all the way back down to here. Now, there is a chance that we could go sideways, and let's be real about that. It's also very possible. So there's always a bullish scenario, right? So we could kind of hold structure. Oh, sorry, I went too low there. We can go structure, hold structure, bounce around, and then continue up. All very possible, okay? But what about if we break below? Don't hold that 70% loss. Go underwater 70%, right? It could be that you get into a small position size here, and then you're saying, okay, you know what? If it fell 70%, no big deal. I'll put $100. I'll lose 70% of it, $70. No, okay, it's not a big deal. It's not gonna do much overall to my portfolio. That's one strategy, but reality is, I don't think it's fair, because it's a 70% dip. I would be protecting your gains. In fact, I would be holding off to be deploying a lot more of my capital down here if you are fundamentally bullish, because it's a high probability that we do fall. Now, a lot of this is all dependent on what happens in the market in general, like what Bitcoin is doing, what Ethereum is doing, what the market in general is doing. If the market in general is starting to look bullish here, it's very likely that Ritestream continues to the upside and potentially invalidates any divergences. So let's look at our momentum oscillators. Let's get this out of the way for a second, and let's look at our momentum. We can see that expansion phase is very, very mature. We came down significantly, and on the daily, we're still in an expansion with lots of red. Lots of red still. Like, I don't see any real indication of a major reversal at this current moment. Even the EMAs, the MACD, the expansion, trend expansions, we did get a bit of a bullish divergence, but it's invalidated right now. Fine. If we get another one, another indication, you know, sometimes we invalidate the bullish divergences and then we get back on it and start running. But there's still no major indication. There's a bit of divergence on the MACD histogram bars, on the red bars, sure, as we are going up. But what I don't like is this. Guys, this right here, when you see any wave, oh, sorry, guys, if you see any wave do one of these, I don't like that curvature. Why? Because the curvature suggests that we can start coming down again, right? I would prefer that not being curved. I would prefer this kind of being like a bubble, like rounded off, something like that. You get what I mean? And that way it kind of shows us that we might be looking to get into the bullish control zone. But right now we're still in the bearish control zone. EMAs are facing down. We got red histogram bars that might be looking for a rollover, and that's about it. And this is the daily. Okay, so the daily right now has been in control of the entire market. We got to understand lower time frames right now, people have been getting wrecked. I'll be focusing on the daily, because big picture, as you can see, the daily's in control. The expansion to the downside, the momentum, let's look at this momentum. Expansion is very mature. No signs of weakness yet, in the sense that the bulls are coming in, and last time they came in, they got slaughtered. Look at the expansion, very, very weak. Didn't even really get some strength into this. It's oversold. Volatility is oversold. Momentum's trying to get oversold, making the lower low, coming down to oversold conditions. Guys, we're going to get the bigger fall. So the risk taking right now, the risk going into a bullish long, is the fact that the purple line gets oversold. If the purple line gets oversold, guys, we're going to be falling through that volume gap. Okay, so prepare. So getting in right now, based on that first green arrow, there's risk associated. So that's why it's very important that you put that stop loss. That's why it's important that your position size is considered, right? If it's a small position size, I understand you don't want to put that stop loss because it's only $100, like I said. But if you're getting with a lot of capital, you want to protect that capital, because that's your first objective when you enter a trade, is to protect your initial investment. That's what you got to do. After that, it's to protect your gains. At this current moment, you're trying to find an entry. So your first objective is risk to reward, so that you can protect your initial investment, your capital. So this is where we're at. Very risky state, because it could be coming down to oversold conditions, and the expansion is definitely there. Guys, the TA at the current level is telling me I'm not in a rush. There's no real way. If we get some W's right into here, like we have done right into this area, and we get some W's that, you know, we could get in from with a bit of confidence, then yes, maybe I'll put a position in and put a stop loss right here at about 2.6 cents, and that way if it does fall, I get out, I take a little loss, we come back down, we buy the dip, we accumulate more and expect a bounce. But again, fundamentals have to check out. If you're fundamentally bullish, great, DCA. And if you're not, guys, look for other projects. There's tons of projects out there with great fundamentals, good value proposition, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this deep dive video, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. I'm going to be live tonight, 7:30 Eastern, talking about crypto news and price action. If you have any projects you want me to cover, that is a great time and place to make those requests. Guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.